how do you feel now about France enlisting in America's war on terrorism in Africa?
I don't like this relation and not even this formulation. We are still ashamed of our last colonial wars. We have finished with all that. We have no more any strategic interest in Africa. But the wars are in the airs, in the waves, above the polar regions, not over Africa.
You are not troubled by the Chinese scramble for Africa?
They are richer than we are, but they are predators too. The way the Chinese try to buy control, mines, oil, land, worries some Africans who I know, and worries me too.
But now Francois Hollande wants to double the trade from 30 billion to 60 billion dollars. How do you double the trade?
You are strange. You have a strange way to question. Francois would like to double the trade of France with the whole world. That is for us an absolute necessity.
But the problem is in Africa you have involved in 4 wars while you are talking about trade.
You like to mix all the question at once. Okay.
They are mixed.
The French reaction is the duty left by history puts on us an obligation to go there, even if alone. This had nothing to see with trade, much less with colonialism. You cannot rub out history, it's not my fault.
We cannot correct history, but we can correct policy, correct? And France's policy is as such that it is a force, let's call it a force of stability in Africa, meaning Africans look to France, it has 10,000 soldiers, it has multiple bases, and it's involved in war, in intelligence on the continent. So it's normal for them to preference France for their trade because France is a power in Africa.
Maybe for them. In my vision, we are fed up with all that. I would have preferred not to have to go to Mali, not to have to Central Africa. But take Mali. Many people have been murdered. Many women have been violated. Horror. They called for help. No one was ready. America was too busy with Iraq, where they should never have been, but they are. And in Afghanistan. Europe has been made to do trade, not foreign policy. The British are there, forbidding to do any foreign policy. No one. Anyway, we helped to destroy the killers and protected the Muslim sedentary community there. It was a 2-month operation. For the rest, it's their affair.
But you're staying there in Mali. You're not leaving Mali. Even after the UN comes.
I am as sad as you are that all these Muslims between themselves are not capable to find ways to speak and to reconstruct friendship.
But there's another problem, Prime Minister. The problem is that if you look at the general Islamic world that you're talking about, all the new murderous groups, the religiously motivated religious groups, have all of them come out of result of foreign intervention. Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, ISIS in Iraq, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Palestine, Shabab in Somalia, etc., etc. Every time there is a foreign military intervention, it creates radical, extremist, violent groups. Aren't you doing the same thing in Sahel today?
I'm not sure you're right. You may be.
It's factual. Are you trying to
if there is a terrorist zone in Central Africa, it will be, first of all, a worry for all of you. Muslim people are those who live there. Manage with that, please. The better you manage without calling for us is the best.
But the problem, Prime Minister, is the following.
And something more. Do you believe in this Mali operation? France has earned some money, signed any contract?
Well, it does have interest in the north of Mali. It does have uranium and oil.
Please. No, uranium.
Not big, but
we want free access.
yes.
Equally with the Chinese.
You are dependent on nuclear power.
We are afraid of having property. Property contacts to colonialism. If the zone is capable to manage itself, to open trade to any countries, low constraint, that is what we ask for. Please. Up to you to treat the problem. An international territorial basis for terrorism is a world danger. It doesn't concern only you. But if you tell me we Muslims are the only concerned and should treat that by ourselves, okay, thank you. You will not draw me. You will not draw France backwards to colonialism.